The U.S. Senate has approved $9 billion in spending cuts.
On the chopping block, foreign aid programs and support for public broadcasting. Doug Luzader live in Washington now with all the specifics on this. Good morning.
Good morning. This took a long time to get through the Senate last night, but it's been a long time since we've had what they call a rescissions package successfully go through. This still has to be signed off by the House, but we haven't seen this kind of thing in about 25 years.
On this vote, the bill is amended as passed.
Not much energy left on the Senate floor at 2:30 in the morning, but late-night sessions here seem to be more and more common.
Mr. President, this is a dark day for America.
Democrats railed against the Republican effort to claw back about $9 billion in federal spending, including outlays for foreign aid and public broadcasting.
A dark day for rural Americans. A dark day for any American who relies on public broadcasting during floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, and other disasters.
What we're talking about here is 1/10 of 1% of all federal spending. 1/10 of 1% of all federal spending. But it's a step in the right direction.
This is what that looks like on a pie chart. $9 billion in cuts out of about $7 trillion in federal spending.
This is not our money. This is the money of hard-working Americans.
Republicans say you have to start somewhere. Still, those cuts will have an impact, assuming the House signs off on them as expected this week. Democrats point to a larger issue, cutting spending that has already been agreed to.
Why would you ever have a bipartisan budget deal if you can get double-crossed like this?
But the president's budget chief has already said this is the new way of doing business here.
We have other rescissions packages that we will send if we have a good vote, and that will continue.
And it's interesting when you look at this as a numbers game in the Senate especially. Generally, it takes 60 votes to get a spending bill through. It only takes a simple majority, 51 votes, to go through a rescissions process. So it's, in theory, a little bit easier to cut the spending than it is to actually spend the money. Back to you.
And you do wonder what this means for more measures to come, right? Because this rescission package, it's rare, but it passed. And, you know, does this mean that more things are at stake now moving forward?
Well, the White House says more are going to be coming, and this is just a fraction of the cuts that DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, initially put forward. And, you know, these things, we mentioned that we haven't seen one in about 25 years. Between 1974, when the process first started, and about the year 2000, we saw them pretty frequently, but they just haven't been used in recent years.
Yeah. All right, Doug. Thank you.